Hello, fellow old schoolers. Echo Greg here with another webcam game. This is match 3 of the Guild House 7-point fall event. That's a Swiss style event where we play one match a week, matched up against an opponent with a similar record, and it should go for about 5 or 6 rounds. So, show you the deck that I've been playing. It's a mono green. Again, 7 points, Singleton, so you can see my points there. It's Trike, 1 point, Icy, Winter Orb, Regrowth, Maze of Ith, and then coming in at 2 points is the Mox Emerald. Everything else is what you would typically expect to see in a mono green kind of aggressive deck. Lots of 1-drops, 2-drops, Elvish Archers, Flyers, Dragons, Flies, and Fire Sprites. And then Spinning Slugs, Tracker, and moving up to the 4-drops, Urnum, Suchi, Juggernaut, etc. So, same deck that we saw the first 2 rounds, so without anything else, let's get into the games. So here I am playing against Jason, or Warden, on Discord. Jason is on a white-red deck. He had the play, he goes first. You see I hadn't mulliganed, but I open up with a Thallid, and I'm a little mana screwed here, it looks like. Coming in, get some damage, playing a Scavenger Folk. And passing back to Jason. Jason's got a Factory. He's going to chain the Scavenger Folk, which is unfortunate. Now my Thallid can't get in. And I just pass. I'm missing land drops and no creatures to play. Jason's got another mountain, and he's got a disc. So that's going to be problematic. One of my ways of getting rid of the disc, which was the Scavenger Folks, and chain and Arnie in the graveyard. I'm going to crack in, put him at 18. He's going to strip one of my lands, which drops me down to just 1. And then Jason's going to crack in for 2 here, put me at 18 as well. I go ahead and make another Sapling token in the turn. I need him to pop the disc before I can put anything else in. So I just need to get some pressure and be able to match the factory damage that he's dealing me. So swinging for 2, get him down to 16 again. Didn't draw a land, no plays. But he's got a Pyroclasm, so 1 to each of my creatures, or sorry, Pyrotechnics. Plasm is not legal in this format. 1 to each of my creatures and 2 to me, dropping me to 16. Passes to me, I have to discard. I'm going to discard a Copper Tablet. Symmetrical 1 damage is going to greatly help him in this. And he's got a Rock Hydra. So this is one of the cool things about 7 points. You see some really creatures that don't quite make the cut in regular old school, Rock Hydra being one of them. So he adds an extra head on his turn, make it a 5/5, swings in. It's going to be painful, but I need to Berserk it, otherwise it's just going to kill me. So I will take 10 from it and 2 from the factory, dropping to 4. But it does get rid of the Hydra, and again, it seems excessive, but if I don't do it that turn, I'm probably taking 6 from the Hydra next turn, so it ends up being the same amount of damage I would have taken, actually save a little damage and get rid of it. But he's got an Earthquake, and we move on to game 2. So not a lot I could do in that game. He had good answers for the 2 creatures I was able to play, and I never got above 2 mana, and he had to strip for 1. So bad showing for the deck. We'll see if I can do better here in game 2. So again, as a reminder, there are no sideboards in 7 points. You play an exact 60 card deck. So my usual 61, 62 card decks have to be trimmed down because it has to be 60, and no sideboard. So any sideboard type cards you might want have to go in the main deck. So it makes the games go a little quicker, and it's a little deck building strategy of, do I need to put in a Tranquility or something in the main, or do I just hope I can outlast whatever problematic enchantments are? So, and for other decks like white, do I want to put in Circle of Protections or Karmas or the traditional color hosing things? But anyway, here we are on game 2 again. Looks like I mulliganed. Oh no, I didn't mulligan to 5. Played a Forest, played a Thallid. So, Thallid cracking in, getting counters, but no turn 2 drop. Cracking it with the Thallid again, putting him to 18, and just passing the turn. So I've got land this time, but nothing to do with it, unfortunately. Thallid now gets his counter. There's an Urnum. So there's a bigger threat. We'll see if he has an answer for it. The Thunder Spirit with the first strike is keeping my weenies at bay. But he's got a Wall of Swords. So that's a 3/5. That's a pretty good answer. So he passes to me. I don't make a token. Don't need to yet. It's not going to do any good. So I just keep the Thallid growing. I have to give his Thunder Sprite Forest Walk. And there's a Maze, which at least will prevent that Thunder Sprite from getting in Verdi, or Thunder Spirit getting in from any damage. I'm coming in with both here. Probably got a combat trick of some sort. But no, it doesn't seem like it. I'm just saving it. I'm just maybe trying to bluff in the damage. See if he wouldn't block out of fear of a giant growth. So he plays a Rock of Carriage. It's a 3/3 flyer, and cracks in for 2 with the Spirit. I do make a token at this point, because now I can start to get some potential damage in with that Maze. Yep, coming in with everything again. So he's gonna block. Take the Erdman, probably block the Thallid. I'm gonna Maze the Thallid, and he's gonna take a damage. So, and then second main, there's an if-biff. And I go ahead and Hurricane. And I think that's a Swords, and he Swords the if-biff. So I Hurricane there to one deals 1 damage to both of us, but also takes out his Wall of Swords since it had 4 damage on it. And then I would have been able to wreck his board next turn since everything he has is flyers, but he did have the Swords. So I go back up to 20. And oof, there's a Shivan. He's going to crack in for 5, dropping me down to 15. Tap. Play another land, so kind of the opposite of last game. I'm flooding a little bit on this one. Forget to put up my Thallid counters, but it's back up to 3, so it can make another little guy. I'm playing Ankh, and I just pass the turn. I think I need to start saving the Maze for the Shivan, otherwise I'm going to die very quickly. So he attacks just with the Shivan. So I Maze it. So no damage dealt there. And he is going to decide, yeah, I want to... Trying to figure out what he wants to do. So he's going to crack in for 5 with the other creatures as well. And then he decides to change it. He wants to hold back that as a blocker, so he cracks in for 2, putting me down to 13. And he's got a Northern Paladin, which is a 3/3 for 4, and I think you can pay 2 white and tap to kill a black creature. So I play a Tracker. He's going to at least be able to answer the Thunder Spirit there. And he's going to crack in with everything now. I'll Maze the big Shivan. I'll take 5 and go to 8. So I'm getting in pretty dangerous Bolt range here. He plays a land, goes to 14. Thallid kicks up. Chaos Orb. And then he's got Disenchant Mana, but I gotta do it now. Fortunately, he does not have a Disenchant, so here I'm going to use my Urnum as a Shivan and take out the Shivan. So that helps a lot. Now with him only having 3/3, I'll attack in. He's got the Paladin, and he just chump blocks the Urnum and takes 1. So I attacked with the token there because if he does block it, I can just finish off the Paladin with the tracker and start trying to clear the way a little bit. He's got a Preacher, which is not going to live. Attacks with everything, I'll maze and take 2, and then in my turn, yeah, I'm going to kill that Preacher. That's a problem. I will make another token, and in the turn, now I can get start putting some pressure on. I will, yeah, attack with the Urnum and the 2 tokens. He chumps the Urnum, takes 2, going to 11, and I just pass a turn. So things have turned a corner for me here. It was looking scary for a minute there with those flyers out, but that Chaos Orb taking out the Shivan, and then having the Urnum be bigger than his guys. Unfortunately, he's got a balance. So, counting up lands, I have to discard a card, and I lose everything but the Urnum. Again, still a good race for me, 4-5 versus a 2-2. And then he wheels. So, can't too much glare on my graveyard, can't see. It looks like there's a forest in there, so well, we're both up to 7. He's hoping to get some burn, something he can use to finish me off. I am down to a pretty low life at 6, but that maze is doing some real work here. And he just passes a turn. So end of turn, I'm going to Stormseeker him. So that wheel working out for me. He bolts me down to 3, but then he's going to take 6, going to 5. Untap. Play a Mox. It's a mana that doesn't do any damage. I'm going to crack it. He chumps. Doesn't want to go down. And I throw some flyers out there. So already... I do have to worry about some things like pyrotechnics, but at this point I just got to try and finish the game. So he's got a Rook Egg. And an Aeolipile, so that potentially puts me to 1. That's getting in dangerous territory. So his egg's going to get Forest Walk. Luckily my flyers can just fly in, which is what I do. Leave the Urnum back, and I don't want to give him a 4/4 flyer. He's at a low life, just chip him away. And there's another flyer. So I have lethal on the board. He's going to pop me down to 1. Let's see if he has an answer here. Thinking about it, looking at a lot of mana. He's going to Dwarven Catapult all my flyers away. But the Urnum survives. Again, Dwarven Catapult splits the damage evenly. Rounded down, so didn't have enough mana to get up, but he did have enough mana to do at least 1 damage to each of my creatures. So the flyers are all gone. Yeah, thinking this through. I think at this point I have to give him the token because I still do have the maze, and I can maze it, and my 4 or 5 Urnum is bigger than his token. So just need to... It's going to buy him an extra... This turn and the next turn, if he doesn't draw anything else. Which he doesn't. Got a Timberwolves, and an Elvish Archers, and a Crossroads, which allows me to tack in with everything. So he can block the Urnum there, and kill me. But he has an eye for an eye. So we take a minute to figure this out. Eye for an eye is he's going to take the damage, but it's also going to deal the damage back to me. So I think we both kind of misplayed this a little bit. In the time, it was just I had the maze, so if he is allowing everything to come through and then mazing like the urn or putting the eye on the Urnum, I could have mazed it and had the other damage come through. I don't remember him saying he blocked or anything, but we both kind of, it was a really cool play. And so that's going to end the game in a draw. So we're going to move on to the game 3. with him still up 1-0. Remember, again, it's everyone likes to say it's best of 3, but it's not. It's first to 2 wins. So we have a draw. We still got to play out until someone has 2 wins. So if he wins this, we're done. If I win this, we go on to a game 4. So again, probably depending on what he had targeted, I had the maze. Could have changed that into a win for me, but didn't think of it at the time. Was a little shocked at getting eye for an eye, and again, I think we kind of rushed the steps through there. I don't remember there being a block and all that, but it doesn't matter. It was a really, really cool play, and take the draw, and we'll move on to game 3. You see a lot of draws in old school Magic with things like Earthquake, Hurricane, and Psy Blast. You do not see a whole lot of draws with Eye for an Eye, so it's another cool story and a cool selling point for 7 points as you get to play things like Eye for an Eye. Alright, so I just lead it off with the Forest and pass. He's got a mountain. Then I drop an Ankh. So it's good. I think his deck is a little more mana hungry than mine. He's going to play a Plains, drop the 2. I'm going to not play a land and drop a Sylvan. So and another Plains, drop the 16. So the Ankh's already doing some work. So I'm going to look at the library, drop a land, go to 18 myself, and just pass. So another mountain down to 14, and he's got a disc. Alright, so that's not great. Take out both my library and my Ankh. I do play another Forest, dropping to 16 myself. At this point, I don't really want to play anything into the disc. But we'll see what happens here. Jason untaps, thinking about what to do. He is going to blow the disc. And then play a land drop smart, so saves himself 2 damage, which again, as we've seen, these games are real close. And he drops a tome, so some card draw there, or at least card filtering. But I get a Juggernaut, so that's a good threat. He is down to 14, so that's a 3-turn clock with the Juggernaut. He's got a Strip Mine and a Divine Offering on the Juggernaut, so that hurts. So not only does he take away my threat, he gains 4 life and goes back up to 18. And then he's got a Granite Gargoyle. So Gargoyle is a 2/2 that kind of has reverse fire breathing. It can pump itself defensively, +0/+1 for red mana, which again is really good against the weenie deck. He's going to go to combat. I'm going to tap down his Gargoyle. That Icy. It's the reason why it's pointed. Great card, and every deck can play it. I got to strip myself and a Triskelion. So I get the 4/4. He's going to activate his Tome and draw wisely, not tapping any red mana, so that he keeps his Gargoyle out of trike range. He's got a Desert. So he had activated the bookend of my turn and discarded a mountain or whatever he drew. Another land for me. Lots of mana. I'm going to put an Aspect of Wolf on that trike. So an Aspect of Wolf gives plus X plus Y, where X is equal to half your forests rounded down, and Y is equal to half your forest rounded up. So in this case, it's a 6 forests plus 3/3, so my trike is a 7/7. So he's going to Eye for an Eye, and he's going to Orc it. So that is going to be 14 damage to me. So before those resolve, I'm going to shoot him for 3. Or sorry, I'm going to shoot his Gargoyle. Take that out, removing the counters. So that just makes my trike a 4/4. So he's going to take 4. Then I'm going to take 8. So that drops me down to 8. But that's a lot better than dropping down to 2. Then I'm going to throw a Winter Orb down with him kind of tapped out. And he's going to Tome. Goes untap. I remind him, no, I got an orb. You only get 1 land. going to decide on typing a mountain. And then I'm going to strip his mountain. Okay. He's got a city of brass. In a turn, I'm going to tap that city, deal him the damage. And then I'm going to swing in for 4. So puts him down to 9. And then I'm going to tap out for a Wolves. Wily Wolves, 1/1. I can tap it to give any creature +1/+1. So it, yeah. Come in. Not sure whether I pump the trike or just attack, but either way he goes down to 4. I've got lethal on the board. Winter Orb doing some work, and yep, no answer, scoops it up. So I take game 3. Match is now 1-1-1, and we go to what should be a deciding game 4, but as we've seen in game 2, it's not always deciding. So we'll see if this is it, or if we have another draw in a game 5. Again, both our decks have ways to draw this out. I have the Hurricane, and he's got Earthquake and the Eye for an Eyes. Or Eye for an Eye, singular. Just had the 4 for it last time. So we shuffle up, so this will put Jason on the play. Again, when you draw, since nobody won, whoever had the choice of playing first, which in this case was me at game 2, maintains that choice for the next game. So that's why I started game 3 on the play. But there was a decisive winner in game 3, so Jason gets the choice. And he will take the play. He leads off with a Plains. I draw. We're both good with our hands. No mulligans. Forced into Dryad. It's a 1/1 Force Walker. Not really valid in this matchup, but it's a 1/1, and Pendelhaven helps with that, which I play. And then I play a Fire Sprites. So Kraken 1, put him at 19. He's got a land. He's got a Preacher. So that's going to be annoying. Be able to take my creatures. I'm going to swing in for 2, pump the Sprites for 3. Let's put him down to 16. And just pass to him. So he's going to untap, he's going to take it. I'm going to give him the Dryads. He won't be able to block my Sprites. So he plays a Mountain, and so he just passes back to me. Oh no, sorry, he had to get up and take care of it, like his cat was howling. But yeah. Alright, so now he passes me. Alright, so I untap, draw. Thinking about what to do here. Crossroads. Asp. And coming in with everything. The Dryad is tapped. That's why I did that. Because I had attacked with it and he took it on his turn. Reminded him he's got a trigger to pay for the Asp. The way the Asp worked is you have to pay before your draw step, so it can be the end of my turn. Doesn't have to be during your upkeep, so it's not as good as it could be. He decided to take the damage, and I reminded him, no, look, you had 4 untapped mana at the end of your turn. Please pay the 1 when it doesn't matter. Okay. These games are for fun. I wouldn't want to win on getting some extra damage in that, shouldn't. If you were more familiar with the cards, wouldn't have been, a thing. So I'll play an Aspect, come in for 2, and it gives everything just, or gives the creature +1/+1 currently. He's going to activate, and I'm going to crumble. So he'll gain 2 life, dropping down to 12, then back up to 14. But gets rid of that. And then he's got a bolt for the flyer anyway, which is unfortunate. Then he's got a tome, so it's going to draw him some cards. I wish I still had that crumble. But again, got the Winter Orb. Winter Orb doing work against decks that need big mana. So that's really going to hurt his book, I believe. Make it real hard to use. I'll play a Strip Mine, and I'm going to Ice Storm. Looks like one of his duels. He untaps, draws, passes. I untap, draw, pass. So that's a creature, stealing my creature, doing a pretty good lockdown. I could attack and pound the head of my guy and kill it, but then he just takes my other guy, and now I'm down creature. So at this point, it's better just be at the stalemate. But I do play a Dark Elf and a Timberwolf on 2 separate turns. Again, the Crossroads is in play, so yeah, I can attack here. I think at this point I just need to do some damage to him. I'm okay with losing a creature in order to get damage in. Yeah, so he's going to block. I'm going to pump the one he blocks and deal 2 damage. And then, yeah, he's going to activate again. I'm going to give him a tapped Timberwolves. Again, so the Ass with the Winter Orb does do some good stuff, but he's going to shatter the Winter Orb. So he does that on his turn, so I get an untap, a full untap. And then there's a Slug, which again has haste, so I'm going to come in for 5. So that's going to drop him. Looks like it drops on the 7, so I think I had his life total a little higher than it was. I had him at 15. He had himself at 12, so he drops down to 7, and he plays a Rook Egg. I go ahead and strip his mountain. Play a desert. Play an icy. And tap down that egg. Actually, I know I will tap down the Timberwolves, because then that way he can't trade. Block in, he'll block the Spitting Slug, and he'll take 2, dropping to 5. And then I've got a Hurricane for lethal. So, that wraps it up. Took this one 2 to 1 to 1. Great games with Jason. Those, again, real close. The white-red matchup is always a nice, tough race for the mono green. You get the burn. Creatures are usually pretty equal, so it's always a fun match to play. And again, that eye for an eye to draw the game was those great old school stories that I'm sure both of us will continue to tell for years to come. So that's it. Thanks everyone for watching, and I'll see you next time.